Hey guys, welcome back. This is Last Chance Books by Kelsey. I don't know her. Kelsey Roddicky. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's where we are. I love this book. Super cute. Um, by the way, I know you've already read chapter 1 if you're here, but if you haven't already, subscribe and like the video. And this is probably a 12 and up for kids if they're mature. Otherwise, I'd say like 14, 16-year-old, like 14 and up will probably enjoy this book the most, and I think it'd be better for their ages. It's almost like it kind of reminds me of like a You've Got Mail, but like a teen version. So yeah, we're on chapter 2, which starts on page 14. So we're gonna hop right into that. So we found out really quick that he is the opposing enemy, which I thought it was gonna at least be 3 chapters in, but it wasn't. And guys, I'm reading this for the first time too, so we're learning together. So let's get right into this. Read until it gets dark out. Only fit one more chapter in. Yeah, let's do this. And these are longer, so these are gonna be longer chapters. And then there is. Oh, she's a young. Okay, there's 352 pages in this, so yeah, let's just get right into it. Let's just do this thing. Chapter 2. Jasper Hamada's stupidly symmetrical face haunts the rest of my day like the oniony smell of the pico de gallo Benny spilled behind the register while I was out tracking down the prologue trader. I'm not even mad when he asked me to help him clean it up because it provides a good outlet for my frustration. I scrub and scrub and scrub the floor mat until my knuckles turn white and my fingers cramp in a curled position around the red-stained rag. And before I know it, after hours of glaring out the window and restraining myself from texting Jasper horrible things because I've officially deemed him not worth my time, Ravi arrives to take over for Benny and me. 15 minutes later, I'm swinging into the driveway of our little 3-bedroom rancher and park next to Sterling's Explorer. Benny's out of the car before I even shift to park. He's going to Sterling's every weekend during the school year and whenever he feels like it during the summer, but his excitement to see his dad never goes away. Even after 16 years, Astrid's the crap. Astrid's the crap, but it must be nice to have a real parent around. I've never even met my dad. What? I'm trying to decide. Okay, yep. How was work, baby? Astrid asks when I go inside. She turns backward on the couch. The Great British Baking Show paused behind her and gets one look at my face before she frowns. That bad, huh? I hang my bag on a coat hook next to the door. Do you remember the guy I told you about? I flop into the couch next to her, grabbing one of her infamous throw pillows. This one reads, Calm thine. What are these? Calm thy teats. In the kitchen, Sterling instructs Benny on the next step to preparing whatever he's making. The faucet struggles to pump out water. The butter sizzles in a pan, and the scent wafting into the living room. Jasper Hamada? The hottie? Astrid pushes her glasses up her nose. She's only mid-30s, but she says things like hottie. But when she says things like hottie, I can't help feeling like she's 70 and severely out of touch despite my best efforts. At least she's no longer using memes 6 months after they're over. Jasper Hotmata? Oh my gosh. I did not call him a hottie. My cheeks heat, definitely in anger and not embarrassment because I did not call him that. In fact, that's the first time the word has ever come out of my mouth, and now I think I need to brush my teeth and sanitizer, especially because it was in reference to him. She frowns. What happened? Dinner's ready, Sterling calls in his deep, booming voice. Set the table, Madeline, Benny says, popping out of the kitchen. I lean over the back of the couch to face him. It's your turn. I made dinner. He ducks me back into the kitchen. I turn to Astrid, my mouth sagging open. He just got home 2 minutes ago. Go set the table, I'll get drinks. She pats my cheek. And then tell me what Jasper did. In our tiny kitchen, Sterling has prepared a veggie stir-fry soaked in so much butter that it counteracts any health benefits of the vegetables and chicken with it. He and Benny move the food to the table. Astrid fills up 3 glasses of water and 1 glass of orange juice. Why is she like this? And I put out silverware. Sterling takes pity on me and grabs the plates. As soon as we're sitting and Astrid has taken a large and loud gulp for orange juice, I jump into my Jasper story before Benny complains about how bored he was at work, or Sterling tells us a confusing story about his IT job that only he finds funny because he's the only one who understands, or Astrid wants to discuss the color we think things are when we, really look at them. So, Jasper Hamada. Oh yeah, go ahead, Astrid says with a nod. Is that the guy you ran after today? Benny asked, asparagus hanging out of his mouth. I didn't run after him. Yeah, you don't run unless you're getting paid. That's the more way, Astrid says. You shouldn't chase after boys regardless of the money, Sterling adds. If they don't let me explain about Jasper this second, I'm going to explode. Can I please finish my dang story? Sterling looks down his nose at me, but his silverware clenched in his fist. Madeline. You're being really unnecessary. Oh wait. Was the D word really necessary for that sentence to work? I can always count on Sterling to dad things up a bit. When my mother, Dahlia, was 16, she had me with absentee father Duncan Thomas, struggled for about 2 years, and then had Benny with Sterling. When she couldn't handle raising us on her own, as if Sterling wasn't doing everything he could to take care of both her children and her, she flew us from California, where she had met Sterling on her failed journey to stardom, to Pennsylvania, where she dumped us with Astrid, her older sister by 2 years. Sterling was 19, had no car, worked minimum wage while taking online classes for a degree, but he followed us here and got his crap together. Something Dahlia never did. That most responsible thing she did was stop sending us birthday cards in the mail, which always arrived late, and switch to schedule generic e-cards from some website that won't take me off their mailing list. At least it's eco-friendly. I felt like it added urgency and importance to a word that would follow. So, yes. I pushed my plate away, my fingers catching on the chipped edge. As I was saying, Jasper Hamada, the guy who came in not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4, works for the enemies. And he furrows his brow. Fox News? Prologue! I search Astrid's face for some sign of betrayal. Gasp, narrowed eyes behind her 2 big specks. The corners of her mouth turned down. Anything but snorts into her OJ. Ooh, I kind of like it without. Ooh. The obnoxious bookstore chain that moved in across the street and has single-handedly stolen all of our customers. She set her drink down, her face tense. They haven't stolen our customers. They had tons of places to set up shop, and they chose our street. Let your aunt finish talking, Sterling says, cutting a piece of chicken. I stare pointedly at her, my fingers tapping against the tabletop. They haven't stolen customers. We've always done better on weekends than weekdays, no matter the season, and if anything is making bookstores obsolete, it's the convenience of online shopping. Or maybe it's the wild bird Madeline let loose in the store. What? Astrid looks at me, her glasses slipping. Or, I say, cutting a glare toward my brother, it's the shiny brand new store across the street with the swarmy supervisor. He's not bad on the eyes, though, Benny says, taking a sip of his water. A little tall for my taste. Why aren't they more worried about this? Books and more is my whole life. I grew up playing hide and seek with Benny in that store. Learned how to read in it. It was my first job, the only reason I could afford my crappy 2008 car. Oh my gosh. When was this book written? With the fancy paint that my best friend Zelda nicknamed Edward Cullen because it sparkles in the sun. Oh, with this fancy paint that my best friend Zelda nicknamed Edward Cullen because it sparkles in the sun. Aside from Benny, Astrid, and Sterling, it's the one constant in my life. Always there when I need it. It quite literally has her name written all over it. What was he doing in B&M if he works for Prologue? Benny asks. Astrid smiles, flirting with Madeline. No, he was spying or something. I think back to how he asked the questions about my signs, how he complimented our setup near the front of the store. What's the word? He was... I'm sorry, guys. This is getting to be... Doing reconsonance? I think I just need to be done today. Sterling chimes in like he figured out a particularly hard trade. Benny's eyes bounce off the three of us. What's there to gain from checking out our store? Madeline. Madeline, Sterling says. He was not flirting with me. Somehow this conversation has taken a turn in the wrong direction. He was sweet talking for inside information, probably. They already have one successful store, so I doubt they need much intel from us, Astrid says, stabbing a green bean with her fork. He's flirting, not spying. Embrace it, baby. You inherited the more good looks. It's meant to be funny, but it just makes me think of Dahlia and how I'm nearly identical to her. Even when she's not around, I can't escape her. Not if I want to ever look in the mirror. I once tried to convince myself that I intentionally gained weight just so we'd look a little different. We're having a sort of nice dinner, Benny says to Astrid. Why did you have to bring her up? I didn't bring anyone up. Astrid gives him a hard stare, then looks my way, taking in my raised eyebrows and clenched jaw. It's you who brought her up just now. Sterling holds his hands up to ward us away from argument. Technically, no one has brought her up, so if we'd like to switch topics, it's doable. We don't fight about Dahlia often, usually just when she decides to pop back into the picture, but it would be it through FaceTime calls she promises will be daily, but are actually yearly, spur-of-the-moment 5-day visits that disrupt our lives instead of enriching them, or even a random box of chocolate she has anonymously delivered to our house because she thought it would be funny. But Benny's allergy to peanut butter inside the chocolate made it entirely unfunny. We might as well tell them, Sterling. Astrid exchanges a heavy glance with him. He sighs, places his napkin on the table, and leans back in his chair. Benny and I share our own cautious looks. Did she say she's coming to visit? Benny asks, a resigned sigh stuck in his words. I'm not missing soccer camp again because she says she's coming and doesn't ever show up. It's been 3 years since we had a Dahlia visit, 3 blessed years, and now panic threatens to unfurl deep in my stomach. And I need to focus on B&M, just like not Dahlia. I'm not giving up my summer, any part of it, so Dahlia can play mom for a bit. Whatever time's not spent at B&M should be focused on hanging with Zelda, reading, doing other things that make me happy during my last summer before college, before everything changes. Was she dumped again? Benny asked. Probably popped out another kid she can't handle, I muttered. She's not coming to visit or drop off any kids. I guess she learned her lesson with you two, Astrid says, standing and taking your empty plate with her. She's coming to stay. What? I asked, my gut clenching. Why? Because she has children here she'd like to see. Since when? I push my chair back from the table. Astrid places her plate in the dishwasher and spins in my direction, her flowery blouse blowing like pages in the breeze. Since always. Don't you get tired of defending her? Benny asked. She left us. All of us, I add with a sharp look at my aunt. She releases a full-body sigh. She's my little sister. That's not your fault, Sterling says stiffly. I always wonder how he felt whenever Dahlia showed up for a visit, trying to be cool, likable parent, while he was here not only for Benny, but for me and Astrid too. I've only seen him truly angry one time, and since Benny and I spilled paint across the cream carpet of his second apartment right after we moved in, we deserved it. But I imagine he's pretty mad whenever my mom stops by. He probably resents her like I do. I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't. Why Astrid of all people wouldn't. She's staying, at least until Benny goes to college. Ah, yes, that time when she gets to just magically stop being a parent. I skirt around Astrid and place my plate next to hers. Does she know Benny's the younger child? Him going to college is 2 years away. Benny drops his head in his hands. 2 years, he whispers, agonized. I raise an eyebrow at him. I bet she won't last a week. Enough, Astrid interjects. Benny mouths. Behind Astrid's back, I hold out my hand like I'm going to shake his. Under the table, he does the same. We bob our heads, unconnected, for a second. Bet made. She'll be here next week, Astrid says in a clipped tone. She'll be staying in the basement and helping out with everything. What's there to help out with? I ask. Astrid and Sterling share another look I can't read. Instead of explaining further, they instruct Benny and me to clean up. Dahlia probably doesn't even know how to say helping out, let alone do it. And if there was even anything for her to help with, she'd just ruin it. We have everything under control without her. Later. When I should be sleeping but can't put down my book, for example, have exhausted my means of internet stalking the apparently very private Jasper Hamada on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so I'm staring at words on page, begging them to make sense. Benny knocks at my door. I almost don't hear it over the Kate Nash playing from the speaker on my bookshelf. Starling left? I ask him, bookmarking my place. Yeah. He got tired of me kicking his butt on every console we own. He brushes his shoulder off. I allow the brag to go unchecked. His smirk disappears as he lies at the end of my bed, squeezing his arms around one of my extra pillows. You don't think Dahlia's really coming, do you? No, I mean, if she does show up, it won't last long. We've been through this before. She disappears as soon as something requiring an adult happens. He snorts, like that time she insisted on showing me how to ride a bike. When you were 2! And my foot got tangled in the pedal and I fell face first to the ground. He pretended crashing into the pillow. Blood everywhere. She bolted. She always does. He offers a small smile. You were there, though. 4-year-old Madeline had her crap together better than Dahlia ever has. He sighs, shaking his head. And that time she convinced you to split your tooth fairy money with her? And I agreed because I was 10 and she made it sound like I was getting double the money, not half. And she helped you pull, 3 teeth in one go. I sigh. Another instance of blood everywhere. I wonder what she'll break this time. Probably just my spirit. a few laws Benny adds. I pause, thinking of Astrid's sagging face at dinner. Astrid's heart when she bails again. We stay up late, nearly until 3 in the morning, falling down various YouTube holes until we can't keep our eyes open anymore. My brother and I don't always get along, but if there's something we can agree about, it's how much better off we both are without our mother. That is the end of chapter 2. We ended on chapter 24, so we'll pick up on chapter 3 with chapter 3 on page 25, and that is it for tonight because I can't go on, and y'all know that because I made so many mistakes. I couldn't figure out how to pronounce things, and if I ever do that, I'll spell them out. You guys can put the pronunciation, and I'll look it up and whatever. Put it in the description. I'm so tired, so bye for now. Thanks for listening. Share with your friends. Subscribe, give a thumbs up, and yeah. Bye for now. Bye.